30 How Are You Even Alive Stories from Doctors, according to Reddit. Number 30. Not a doctor, but I'm a nurse, and my story is good too. I had a college student come into the unit one night on their 19th birthday. They wanted to party, but had a test the next morning. One of their friends told them that if they took one Adderall for every drink they had, they'd be sober by morning. They had 15 shots and 15 20-milligram Adderall tablets. If you were wondering, no, that does not make you sober. It does, however, make you rip off all your clothes in a hallway, spit at the nurse that is trying to help you, shit all over everything, and then literally fucking die. Luckily for them, they weren't dead for good. We got them back, and they spent most of their sophomore year of college in a hospital with a hole in their neck, learning how to walk again. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Going to school does not make you smart. Bing bong. Hello to everyone in the stream. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day so far, or an evening, afternoon, morning. And I hope that it only gets better as we roll right into the stream tonight. Number 29 on the list of How Are You Even Alive stories reads, I'm not a doctor, but my dad was in a major dirt biking accident a couple of years ago. He broke his C2 and pretty much decapitated himself internally. His ER doctor said that the only break he's seen like it was on people in the morgue. No one could understand how he was alive. Anyways, by a complete miracle, he did live, and after months in hospital, he's breathing, eating on his own, walking, and even driving and dirt biking again. Learn your lesson, motherfucker. Completely a miracle. He's numb from the head down. But it is still incredible? What do you mean numb from the head down? His doctors told the friend's doctor who told their doctor's friends because of how crazy it all was. Edit, alright, I'm not good at Reddit, but I was to post his x-ray? I don't have brain cells to waste trying to figure out what people write figuratively v literally, or try to make sense of what some people don't understand jokes to be. So we're going to go ahead and continue up this list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories from doctors, according to Reddit. Number 28, not a doctor. God, it's going to be a lot of these tonight. I met a guy the other night who got hit by a jet ski. Not good. I think a lot of people don't know the differences between jet skis and wave runners as well, so I think we should assume that it was a wave runner. It broke his femur, crushed his shoulder, and split his head. He was floating in the ocean for a while and said that after 30 minutes, when he finally got into the ambulance, they took one look at him and said he didn't have much of a chance of making it to even the hospital because of the blood loss. I'm happy to say that he's alive and well after several surgeries and is walking. Oh man, this is so sad. Like, a lot of these are just like, they're lucky to be even walking. Hopefully it gives us the perspective we need in trying to get through these candy-ass days that are just dumping just a heaping helping of unnecessary onto our plate. Here's hoping everybody in the stream chat is fantastic and that I am audible. I'm not sure. Hold on here. Let me move this a little bit closer. Jeez. Hopefully everybody's not having a problem hearing me and we can continue. Hello to everybody in the stream. Stripes, Michael Davis, Detroit. Trash goes out on Tuesday with an interesting username. What an interesting username. Yeah, let's continue. Number 27. Not a doctor. Ooh, boy. Ugh. Take a shot every time I say not a doctor, guys. But I work in cardiology, and my doctors are all doing rotation at our hospital. Our hospital is a level 5 trauma, and it's the closest hospital to a rural area. So a lot of traumas that happen way out in the middle of nowhere end up at our hospital. This guy came in having been in a car accident. He was covered in road rash, and his chest was more or less torn open. Apparently, as we all later learned, he had been drinking and riding passenger in his friend's car. He wanted out of the car. His friend said no, so this guy, once again very drunk, decided to try and jump out of the car window. Not even open the door, huh, buddy? Just go for maximum danger. He somewhat succeeded, but his shirt caught on the side view mirror and he got dragged under the driver until the driver stopped flipping out, enough to come to his senses and stop. Ugh. Well. Looks like Faith is in the stream. How sexy of her. What did Lit Pencil say? He says, "Am I late, guys?" You'll be fine. There is no later on time. Unless you're coming in like 5 minutes before the end of it. Then you're legit late. Legendary Fat Man, hello, and how are you? Says morning for Fat Man. Damn, so it could be real early for Fat Man. Oh man, full disclosure, Hannah. Hannah's gone, and I fucked up this seat that I sit in to record these just now. Like, you figured it would be when she was here, because she didn't know how delicate you need to be when you're on the chair. But I was the one. It was me. It was me. So let's continue up this list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories from doctors. Number 26. I had a gentleman in his late 50s come in with multiple myeloma. Well, short history of progressively worsening breathlessness. Turned out he had a pulmonary embolism, which were blood clots in his lungs. Ugh, blood clots in the lungs. Did you just say blood clots? Blug. Oh my god, Kyle, take a minute. It sounds like I got blood clots in my brain. Blood clots in the membrane. I'm insane. Blood clots in my brain. Legendary Fat Man says, "Hey Kyle, what about sexy new chair I got your sexy ass?" I love you, Fat Man, but my big ass, that was pretty much exclusively a Hannah chair, okay? Because I don't wanna harm that chair. You know what I'm talking about? It's pro. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's true. But Hannah can tell you some stories about how she would think the equation of me plus that chair would end up, even before we need to, physically test it, Number 25, medic, not a doctor. But my first week or so on the job, we picked up the 2 regular nurse. Wait a goddamn minute. I didn't finish number 26. Okay, look. God, wow, I'm really off it if I didn't realize that I didn't finish this. Number 26. Had a gentleman in his late 50s and his... Oh boy. Let's take it easy, okay? I had a gentleman in his late 50s come in with multiple myeloma. Short story of progressively worsening breathlessness. Turned out he had a pulmonary embolism, blood clot in his lungs. He was a good candidate for, I feel like the music's too loud, give me a second. He was a good candidate for surgery, so he had the blood clot removed, but unfortunately, the clot had caused such bad issues with his heart, acute right heart failure, that he couldn't be weaned off of the bypass machine. Instead, he went to ICU on ECMO, like a circuit for your heart and lungs outside of the body to give your heart lungs time to rest, and his chest was still open, but covered up with sterile stuff. After 3 days, he was booked to be weaned off of the ECMO, or at least have the tubes put in peripherally so his chest could be closed. Morning of the procedure, while he's waiting to be moved, somehow the tubing of the ECMO machine broke, the oxygenator tube, and blood spilled all over the floor, and he went into cardiac arrest. The cardiothoracics that looks to be the way that's pronounced. But learning is important. So we're going to go ahead and it's got to be cardiothoracic. Actually, it doesn't look like an alternative there. Cardiothoracic. I don't need this intro.
Cardiothoracic.
What are you speaking into a oh my god. Was that recorded in the 1950s? Oh my god. Oh, the cardiothoracic consultant. Oh boy, calm down, Kyle. I know you love bad quality. Ooh, I love bad quality. Let me tell you. Ooh, bad quality is what I'm all about. Anyway, the cardiothoracic consultant, singular, had to do an internal cardiac massage, basically CPR on the heart by squeezing it via his still open chest until the circuit got fixed and he returned to a normal circulation. He ended up going to the OT and having his chest closed, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I can't believe he lived. He should have been dead, but he's not. Number 25. You know what I'm talking about? Medic, not a doctor. Take a shot. But first week or so on the job, we picked up the town regular nurse. Didn't even need me to say anything, but let me see his admission record. If there was one visit per line, it probably would have been at least 10 to 15 pages. Multiple stabbings, shootings, beatings, drug and ETOH problems out the ass. He was set on fire twice and hit by 2 or 3 cars at highway speed. He was just unkillable. Oh, we'll see about that. So guys, I apologize if I was missing someone. Nigga. Getting fucking messages on PS4. Sorry if I was missing some messages. I'm just gonna scroll up very quickly, make sure I'm not missing anything. Legendary Fat Man says, you mean the horrible pic of the broken chair and the shitload of blood everywhere? I didn't break the chair. That's why I'm saying, I don't need to, bring it to physical trials to know that that may be the end of the equation if I give that chair the love of my butt. You know what I'm talking about? Give that chair the love of my butt. The love of my butt. That's not a song I'm going to write. Hannah says, you should have done the list while I was there. I can easily pronounce all of those words. Hannah... pronouncing it isn't a problem. I think as this list progresses, we'll see that Kyle is a little off tonight, not in a bad or, a weird way. Just, man. Let's continue up the list so people can see just what the hell I'm talking about. John Gussie says, hey, Kyle, you'll float too. We'll all float on. All right, looking. We'll all float on. All right, already. Number 24. Not a doctor, take a shot, but a few years ago, I was called into the hospital to go see my friendly... There's no L-Y at the end of that. You see what the problem is? Read this whole one and don't have any issues, Kyle. That's 3 big-ass paragraphs. And actually, it's just 1 big-ass paragraph, and the rest of them are all right. But I can read this and not have any issues just to prove something to myself, or maybe to prove something to everybody else, that Kyle just ain't there today. Let's give it a try, all right? Number 24. Not a doctor, but a few years ago I was called into the hospital to go see my friend unexpectedly. Maybe you should slow down. Maybe that will help you deliver this properly. Once there, the doctors told me my friend should be dead, if not in a coma. What had happened was, the day my town had a beer fest on Main Street. The day, Kyle? $20 all you can drink. We all partook, but I was sober at the time, so I just enjoyed watching my friends get ripped. Fast forward to later that afternoon, where all of my friends had moved on to a friend's house, but now hard alcohol was involved. The only true type of alcohol. Bing bong. I went home by... I was right. They wrote I went home to buy this point. What the hell that mean? I'm so used to bullshit being wrong that I don't even know what the hell to read. You know what I'm talking about? Drop Dead Bunny over there talking about a coma would be amazing. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, you're not cool unless you want to be dead. We're all so scene, guys. We're all so emo. We're so goth. I just want to be dead. So he was home by this point because I wasn't in a party mood. My good friend hit it hard though. He was gone. 3 sheets to the wind, pissed off his ass. He ended up taking another friend's motto. That's just 1 T, so it's moto. God, get it together, Kyle. Moto scooter out for a joyride. Ended up wrecking it pretty damn hard on his head. When I showed up at the hospital, there were bloody rags everywhere. He was conscious and had a big smile across his shit-faced mug when I walk in. Then he tried to escape, pulling IVs and wires out of him, but I stopped him. He blew a 35 a few hours after the accident. He was a pretty heavy drinker. Tolerance saved him. Doctors told me that they were in shock he wasn't in a coma or dead. Needless to say, it humbled him out pretty well. Well, you know what I need to do is humble myself today by just taking a damn minute. Ugh. I ran out to a Pokestop just now because I knew I wouldn't be feeling it after the list. Oh boy, and I'm sure that the jerks that guard that stupid stop are just gonna knock me out of that thing as soon as I look over there. You know what I mean? Let me spin it in that direction. Looks like it's just my lonely Gyarados over there for right now. What a nightmare. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue up the list... Give me 1 second. Very important thing has just come up. I need to not leave this person waiting. Because they deserve to be... why are you using a Great Ball? It's just a Weedle. Come on. Yeah, it's a critical capture. You guys don't see that often. Wow. As we continue up this list. Hey, it's Orlando Brando. I like that guy's name. We've done this before. Michael Davis says, wishing death upon yourself is a pretty extreme solution for a bad night. It's true. You guys calm that shit down. As my bookmarks that I'm not supposed to call attention to say, are you okay? Let me make you less suicidey. Okay? Okay. Less suicidey tonight. Anybody have anything they want to say to me? Just say my name, and then we'll get to it. But guys, I'm serious. I'm going to start really cranking these out because I'm a professional or something. Number 23 on the list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories from doctors reads, also not a doctor, take a drink, but my very elderly great-great-uncle just had a sextuple heart bypass. Sextuple. That's 6. Had 4 prior heart attacks. How he was still functioning somewhat normally before his last heart attack, I honestly don't know. Someone said, turns out sextuple doesn't have anything to do with sex. Today he learned. Bing bong. Number 22. Pathologist here. I had a guy who died suddenly and unexpectedly. I soon learned that he was the recipient of a lung transplant about 15 years prior. When I opened the man up, his transplanted lung was upside down? So I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there to tell you all about shit working in the body that I didn't think it could work like that. That pitch perfect bullshit is going to get on somebody's nerves one day. Listen, when I opened him up, shut up, I flipped the lung into the proper position and bloop, it flipped right back upside down. That was quite alarming. The surgeons who originally performed the transplant incorrectly attached the organ. When he by chance entered the correct position, the lung flipped over, causing his pulmonary artery to seal shut, resulting in his death. The man lived for 15 years with a lung that was dying to flip upside down. And it was only by sheer chance that he didn't move in such a way that allowed it to do so until the fateful day of his death. It is one of the most fascinating cases I have ever witnessed. You ain't got no damn links, homie. This is the coolest thing that's in this whole bing bong ass thread. I don't need to read the 21 entries above you. I know this is the coolest thing here. What the fuck you mean a lung went in upside down? What? Legendary Fat Man says, Kyle, it's not so bad. Many people live without a brain. Figuratively, man, not literally. Figuratively. Faith says,
I made food, but now I'm hungry. I'm sad.
oh, Faith is so cute. Oh, Faith. Adorable Faith. Hannah LaFleur says,
Hey, boys.
I'm kidding. She says, hey, Genevieve Hewitt, I'm handing out with my sister, Jen, right now. Oh, you girls better calm it down. I didn't think that's the kind of relationship you guys had. Uh-oh. See what I did there? Hilarious. This guy's hilarious. Does he write that stuff himself? What an idiot. As we travel up this list to number 21, it reads, I have thought after seeing some CT scans of lungs and severe COPD, it's like there is no normal lung tissue, just huge air pockets. It is hard to see how they exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide at all. Well, what a mildly interesting anecdote to put boring as hell. You really are a doctor, just sucking the fun out of everything. You better have an income that compensates for your lack of capacity to entertain. You motherfucker. Did a robot write this? I have thought after seeing some CT scans of lungs in severe COPD. It's like there is no normal lung tissue, just huge air pockets. It is hard to see how they exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide at all. Intriguing. Number 20. What? You can't write 3 things in your entry? Oh, it's like these people have been dying to be asked this question. Pencilhead says, Kyle, what is something that you really want to do? I won't lie, I'm excited about playing Destiny 2 with some of you. Because, like I said, Overwatch is a game that, I can't really enjoy if I'm not winning because I'm childish and competitive. And I'm actually good. That's probably the problem. If I were bad, then, we could all suck together. But when I'm great, you know what I mean? When I do my job in that game, when I'm dropping more than half of the enemy team and just hoping that somebody else can do what I do as well as I do on my team, and then that doesn't happen, I lose my shit. But Destiny, woo, it's gonna be hard to give a damn from the beginning, in the middle, at the end. So we're gonna have a good old time, man. We're gonna have a good old time. Destiny might as well just be like the zombie shooter of our era, but since there's no Halo these days, that's what we'll play. I mean, what are you anticipating, guys? What are you in the stream looking forward to? I'm just looking forward to spending more time with my fantastic and lovely subscribers. Wow, he went there. Special thanks to my patrons. And then, the sexy people that you see up at the top right who are constantly donating. These people are amazing. Number 20 on the list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories reads as follows. Presented after a car crash in the hospital parking lot. He was there for a wound care appointment when his legs suddenly went numb and limp, found to have acute aortic occlusion and bilateral saddle pulmonary emboli, survived an aortic bypass and is still alive. I'm not going to bother trying to explain that to the layman because they didn't. Or presented with abdominal pain, walked into the ED with a pH of 6.9. Damn. Lactate of 24 and acute renal failure from metformin toxicity. He got a dialysis catheter placed and some idiot left the wire in. Nobody realized that got dialyzed. Never seen that one. Through the line and coded in dialysis. Ugh. Resuscitated. They discovered the wire in his heart on the post-code chest x-ray, transferred to us for removal of the wire in IR, walked out 5 days later. Lucky to be alive, man. Negligence. Lucky to be alive. Hey, Ratata. Keep it together, Kyle. Get a grip. Or, women had lots of kids, had terrible placenta perceta. That's just a fucking song that needs to be written, isn't it? Placenta perceta. No, wait. Percreta. Placenta percreta. Creta. And was told she would die if she had another kid. Oh, that's cute. You know what I mean? It's like a movie. You know, you can't have another child or you'll die.
You can't tell me. I have been visited by the Lord. An angel has told me that my next child will be the Messiah.
You don't understand. Your child will kiss. Shut up, Kyle. Finish the freaking thing. Women has a lot of kids. Is told that if she has another kid, she will die. Don't believe that, so decided to have another kid. Had to have a cesarean hysterectomy, during which she bled so much she got transferred. Over 150 units had to be transferred in the middle of the case from the OR to a different OR that had an angiography suite in it, so they could try to embolize the bleeding vessels. Went to the ICU, and an open abdomen and clamps still were on the vessel. Had several more stages of procedures to get hematosis and eventually close her abdomen. So technically, she was right about the whole not dying thing. Technically, she was right. She did survive. So I guess it really is a movie that's starring her. Guys, you want to know the comedy? This list is a little bit hilarious as far as not really breaking it down in a way that's easy for people that don't know what the hell is going on to digest. I would say that this isn't very accessible. It's alienating, if I may say so myself. You know, not everything is for everybody. And sometimes we got to deal with that. But at the same time, look at Michael Davis. He's all like, "Can this motherfucker speak English?" That's my point. You know, when you're trying to put things in layman's terms, yes, it's going to make it even more wordy, which isn't something that I'm in the mood for. But the comedy is, I'm dissing half the people in this damn, thread because they're starting off their shit like, "Not a doctor." And I'm going, oh, take a drink every time somebody says not a doctor. But imagine if the whole thread was filled with doctors. It would be more of this robotic shit. You know what I'm talking about? And the heart bypass did not. I'm like, you know what I'm talking. Hey, guys, bear with me, all right? Or fish with me, whatever you want. See, I made a bear fish joke. Is that more on somebody's level? You know, you should see how hard I'm shaking my head at that. Like, that's the stupid bear and fish. Like it's a word association game. What's another animal, Kyle? Fish. What's another one? Deer. Deer with me. Dear subscribers. Oh my God. Placenta punch. Sounds like a nice drink, says Ashbury Road. Ashbury Road didn't say it sounds like a nice drink. I think it sounds like a nice drink. Placenta punch sounds like a good drink. Placenta crunch sounds like a real cool cereal. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna make you a little bit stronger. Oh boy. Zachary Austin says I have to take a piss, and Faith is like, then go to the damn bathroom. You guys, we want people to know in the stream because you think that they have some sort of fetish. Guys, keep your fetishes to yourself, okay? Oh my God. As we travel up this list, we reach number 19, which reads, as a very junior doctor, I looked after this mega alcoholic who needed cities. Who needed the cities? Come on, man. That's a weird one. The cities. It's a gastroenterologist. There's actually shit on my screen. Okay, is a gastroenterological term for an accumulation of fluid in the peritoneal cavity that exceeds 25 milliliters. Although most commonly due to cirrhosis, severe liver disease, or metastatic cancer. That says metastatic. Did you want it to be metatastic, Kyle? That says metastatic, Kyle. Oh, man. I've never leaned so far forward at my screen before in my life. Just goes to show you, we don't get a lot of cool words in our fucking vocabulary. I guess the doctors are hogging them all. Let that be the one takeaway from this list. The doctors are hogging all the cool words. I must be putting Hannah to sleep. So guys, let's go ahead and continue down this list without me stopping to try to pronounce every word the right way. Because I'm learning, but this is probably just going in people's ear and out the other. Number 19. As a very junior doctor, I looked after this mega alcoholic who needed ascites tapping out every mouth or so. He kept coming in worse and worse, shades of yellow and green. Jaundice, oh my God. Needing more and more fluid removed, still merrily drinking all the while. Well, the obvious happened. He died. Now he dead. So I wander onto the ward a few weeks later to find him sitting there in bed, green as you like, looking very alive. Turned out it was his twin, also an alcoholic, also not to live much longer. Well, I don't even know. This one is cool. This one is as cool as the other one. What was the other one I liked? I've forgotten it already. Oh, somebody's lung flipped upside down after a surgery where they put it. Can it get any cooler? Can it get any cooler? Shout out to Hannah, who took me to catch some Magikarps for no reason. I took her out to get her 2 Lugias, but she took me out one day to get some Magikarps. And now I have enough for another Gyarados. What am I talking about? Did somebody just donate some? Oh, look at the creepers, Kevin. You're the first donation of the night. You know, my man, Kevin, my man. You know what I'm talking about? This dude is my man. My man, Kevin, my man. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate this. You know, you and the people like you are what this channel's all about. Because as you know, everything I do is far too edgy to be capable of being monetized by YouTube this fine year, the year of the fall of YouTube. I really hope that by next year, this time, I'll be well established on whatever the new platform is, because, you know, hosting shit is expensive, and I could make my own website, but where the hell I'm gonna host the videos? You know what I'm talking about? Let's travel up this list. Holy bing bong. So that's 2 that I really like, which is 2 more than I'm usually seeing in these lists. No offense to the lists. Number 18. Third time I post this story, but here we go. Copy pasta from myself. Story time first. Some backstory. In Brazil, you can internship way earlier than in most America and European medical schools, so keep that in mind. I'm doing a lot of on-the-spot correction here, and my mind is probably doing that all the time, and that's why I probably have such difficulty reading. But this is an internal thought that I really didn't need to vocalize. Not to you assholes. You know what I mean? You guys don't care about what's going on in my mind. I could probably do a whole stream where I'm just talking to myself, and it'd be weird, and people think I'm crazy. And somebody probably show it to their mom or their cousin or something because they're a therapist, and they'd be like, what do you think about this guy? This is the way he really thinks. I don't think this is a bit. I think this guy's legit crazy. I think this guy probably talks to himself all the time like this. He lays awake at night and he can't go to sleep, and he stares at the ceiling and he does shit like this, and then he thinks he's gonna be able to busy himself by making lists for YouTube and fucking playing video games all the time. It's not really gonna work out. He's not finding satisfaction or happiness or hunger. He's just constantly thirsty and wanting more. But whatever he gets, it's not good enough. What am I doing? I was in my 4th year of med school, and then the first day as an intern in a trauma hospital after training, there was a bus crash right there. So all the staff was occupied when a woman came in screaming,
I am going to die! I got shot in the head!
When I look up, I see a really thin woman, deep eyes, white as snow skin, with a bullet hole in the center of her forehead. She told us she owed money to a drug dealer. A word? Nigga, you obviously meant owed money to a drug dealer. And he put a gun against her head and shot it and ran. Now, I believe she has burn marks and the gunpowder right there on her skin and a hole. Now, I remind you that I am a student and there's no available doctors in the moment, so I run to my professor that was with another patient and tell her the story, and also that she is lucid with normal life signs, and get an order to do a CT scan. The CT shows that the bullet has entered the forehead through the first layer of the frontal bone, but not the second, and headed down through her palatus, though, and stopped, throat, stoped. You know what I'm talking about? These people know more about the human body than I do. But they are taking it to English like you have never said. Fuck you, English. You killed my family, and now prepare to die. Okay, through and stopped at the vertebrae. No brain damage at all. Well, good. No brain damage. That's good. So we intern her, and the tracheotomy is put in place. Is that word? Is that how tracheotomy is spelled? Ooh. We're gonna find out today, baby. Tracheotomy. Wait, this is the word. That's why my brain's like, dude, that's what it means. Just roll with it. And I'm like, what the fuck that word is, homie? You see what I'm saying? Tracheostomy? What? That's tracheostomy. You know what I mean? Is it a Tamagotchi? Oh my god. Oh my god. And Hannah gives me shit for reading poorly? What do you want? Look at this. Look at this, that I'm supposed to spit into something magical and that works and that people will understand. Oh my god. So we intern her and get a tracheotomy put in place along with emergency reconstructive surgery. Only a first, not a definitive approach. Along with a cervical collar. After she is stable, 3 hours later, in her room, we go down to see other patients. The emergency then gets a call.
Hello, we are from the ex-hospital, 20 kilometers away from ours. And we found a patient of yours in our emergency. Then the nurses on the floor realized she was missing. She jumped a third storage floor and broke her ankle and got in buses and went to the other hospital. Why?
I saw him in here. He came to finish the job. And before you ask, yes, some people lost their jobs. Too long didn't read shot in the head, patient could walk, talk, and scream. What is happening here? Are they saying that the person who tried to shoot her in the head came to finish the job? What is happening? There is nothing in the world like a story told poorly. Motherfucker. Oh, get me out of here, baby. If you could see my face right now. If you could see my face right now. And people talking about Canada. Legendary Fat Man says Canada, America's hat. He'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Number 17, anesthesiologist here. There's a dozen, but they all tend to blend together. Usually the most impressive are the failed traumatic suicide attempts. You hear that, guys? You couldn't even pull it off if you wanted to. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a funny joke. No suicide-y. If you want to commit suicide, you need to send me a text message because I can get some use out of you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't mean that in a weird way. I don't mean that in a rude way. I mean it in a pretty, truthful way. I mean, like, hey, you can contribute in ways that you don't even understand. You think that you just can't do the things that you want to do, but you're so capable. You don't even know it. Oh my gosh. Anesthesiologist here. There's a dozen. but they all tend to blend together. Usually the most impressive are the failed traumatic suicide attempts. A shotgun under the chin can completely remove a face and frontal lobe of the brain while leaving the patient very much alive. Tends to remind you of Predator. You guys ever see that movie? You guys like too young. When did Predator come out? Let's look. Let's take a look at when Predator came out. Everyone feel nice and old. Predator came out in 1987, bro. 1987. People here born in the 80s. Nah, most people here were born in the 90s, sucker. Just let y'all niggas know, sucker. Most people in here were born in the 90s. If not even later. You know what I'm talking about? So what, you remember Predator just because they made a whole bunch of hacky sequels? Because Hollywood's creatively bankrupt? You know, Gorbachev, tear down that wall just so Trump could have the Mexicans build another one. God bless America. Number 16. I design spine implants for a living. Every now and then, I'll be in a case of severe adolescent scoliosis. Something like this. Oh, shit. I genuinely recoiled from the screen. Oh my God. No, it's not funny. I'm not laughing. I just remember this one episode of American Dad where where they were talking about Steve having scoliosis, and then they go, "Why do you think we call you Steviosis?" And then he was like, "You never do that to my face." And they say, "Yeah, we do it behind your back." Behind your creepy deformed back. But I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing at one of Seth MacFarlane's less loved shows that ironically did better because it didn't follow the format of straight wacky garbage flying all over the place. Oh boy. Orlando Brando says that his sister has scoliosis. Poor girl. Our hearts go out to your brother, man. Shit. Your sister, dude. Our hearts go out to your sister, too. Fuck, Kyle, man. So close. What's wrong with your brain? Our hearts go out to your sister. I'm sorry, and I hope with time that it's corrected. Hummingbird says, I know you fucking don't, dude. Maybe you got scoliosis. Yeah, that's not cool. Yo, bitch ass. You must have realized when you said it how close you were coming to regretting it. You know what I mean? Somebody named Fashizzle My Nizzle really just subscribed. You know they watching the stream right now, playing around. Quit playing around. Guys, I am speeding through the rest of this list. I love you to death, but I know that some people are here just to listen. So here we go. On the list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories, we arrive at number 15. Oh my God. Nurse here. Around 50-year-old male comes into the ER after falling and not being able to get up. His testicles were so engorged that they came down to his knees with a width of around 1.5 greater than his thigh. Damn. Penis was completely retracted into his scrotum. And a CT scan that showed his entire large intestine, most of his small intestine and his pancreas had herniated into his scrotum. Sweet Jesus Christ. You could auscultate his bowel sounds through his balls. The surgeon said she had never seen anything like this and that it takes months to get that way and only happens in third world countries with poor/no access to medical care. She couldn't do much because his diaphragm had become so accustomed to the altered space in his abdomen that if she put his organs back in his abdominal cavity, he wouldn't be able to breathe independently. would need to be ventilated permanently. The poor guy had mental health issues, I believe schizophrenia, which is why he was in the condition he was in. He was still able to pee all by himself. Oh my God. Somebody gilded this. Of course, you sick motherfuckers. A response to this has interestingly around the same amount of upvotes as this. So it's instantly something we need to read. Someone else adds, I had a minor hernia when I was 12-ish, had never had surgery before and was a little nervous. My doctor was a little Asian guy and very high energy. He told me a story of another patient that he'd seen with a hernia that had gone untreated for too long. The doctor's exact words were, in the thick Chinese accent, maybe not so bad right now, a little sore, but if you get not... Wait. Okay, sorry. Some part of my brain is just like, this is racist, stop. But another part of me is just like, what are you talking about? The show must go on. But if you not get fixed, in 1 year, ball be down to knee. Oh, ancient Chinese secret. Spicy or not spicy hernia, bring your balls down to knee. Oh, you want ball down to knee? Knee ball. Play ganip down there. This certainly isn't a Chinese accent. Certainly. You know? Woo. What is anybody talking about? Legendary fat man's lost his mind on this Canada kick. Panda Nap says, what a short list, Kyle. Still gonna take an hour for me to get through all of this. All right, look, let's get out of here. Number 14. Not a doctor, take a shot, but encountered a woman that was shot point blank in the head. That's what you mean, is point blank. In the head by her boyfriend. Jesus Christ. The bullet entered one of her eye sockets and exited above her head, above her ear on the same side. She called 911 on her own and survived, was in ICU for weeks, and testified against the bastard who now is thankfully in prison. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, man. Number 13. Not a doctor, take a shot, but been a paramedic for 15 years. I had an 8-year-old kid who was on a ripstick. It's similar to a skateboard. A ripstick, bitch? You know I'm old when I can't even visualize the fuck you talking about. Is that the one where it's like you can kind of wiggle on it? I think that's what that is. Yeah, that's the one where you can kind of wiggle around and you look like a total homosexual while you're riding it. Yeah, nothing wrong with being a homosexual, guys. Oh, Kyle, you're from a different time. Just kidding. I love acting like an old man. I mean, I am technically an old man. Like I said, I'm not that far from that Predator release. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I'm not that old. You know what I'm talking about? I should have known what the hell a ripstick was. I forced my brain into going, this must be what it is. But at the same time, I was like, nigga, what the fuck is a rip? Anyway, he lost control and rolled into a path of an oncoming SUV. Ooh, she was on her way to soccer practice. He was hit and then run over by it. We arrived to find him face down under the vehicle, unconscious, barely breathing. Oh, come on, Morty. After all was said and done, he had bilateral femur fractures, 1 lower leg fracture, multiple rib fractures. Almost made it. Multiple rib fractures, a blown pupil, an open skull fracture, subdural brain bleed, a tension pneumo. Ooh, this boy done. That's a wrap. Air escaping lungs into the chest cavity will squish the lungs if the heart is untreated. And we were bagging him. And when we were bagging him, or breathing him, we felt subcutaneous emphysema. Free air that crackles like Rice Krispies bubble wrap in his hip. Yes, his hip. We flew him to the children's hospital expecting him to die within the hour. He was in a coma for days and had to have multiple surgeries, but made a complete recovery? No. Graduates high school in the spring? He has had such an amazing case, the hospital made him one of their miracle kids of the year. Complete recovery? Damn. This one I don't so much like, obviously, but it's insane. God, man. When we're young, we're mental sponges. We can pretty much soak up everything that's thrown at us, but it's insane that if we as humans were rubber bands, then we are at our most elastic when we're children, because you snap us, we just snap right the fuck back. It's like there's some sort, if we could harness some of that little kid magic inside the young genes, the young DNA, we could work out living forever. Do you think the rich people behind closed doors with their black projects that are off the government books, funded by taxpayer money, have figured out the essence of youth? You think they just crack open a couple of little kids and suck out that bone marrow? And that's why you're not monetized, Kyle. So let's go up to number 12. Whatever. All right. God forbid I don't be like a cable freaking TV channel. You know, we'll be right back. I should get something to drink. Give me a second. What am I talking about? That's not bad. That's what I'm talking about. Some girl just subscribed, and she is all like,
My name's Julia. I may not have the biggest breasts, but my backside is where it's at.
But you see, the problem is not every man is into big booty. Okay? On the list of 30 how are you even alive stories. Number 12. A patient I took care of had a car fall on his face. Sorry, just trying to visualize how something like that happens. He was underneath it working when it slid off of the jack. The only reason he survived was because he broke every bone in his face, which allowed his brain to swell. He also needed an additional surgery to relieve the pressure of cerebral edema, but the facial fractures did allow for a great deal of give in his skull. I was rotating through ICU, so I first saw him just a day after the accident. His face was so swollen, he didn't even look human. Fast forward to a few weeks later, I was rotating through a different unit in the hospital and came across the same patient. He was quickly recovering and had minimum neuro deficits. Another miracle story. And thank God, guys, whenever I see the word edit, that means that was the original post, and I don't need to read all this horse shit. So let's go up to number 11. About 20 years ago, I had a patient come in with obstruction of his colon by a large colon cancer. The cancer had spread to his liver, and the CT scan showed boy. I'm gonna take a quick moment to just thank you all for being here. I really may need to start proofreading these, okay? Because guys, let's hit the bottom line. When I make these lists, I look at the AskReddit thread being asked, and the AskReddit thread that, the question here was, Doctors of Reddit, what made you say, how are you still alive? It's a juicy concept. It's a juicy topic, okay? But when you get in here, the kind of, the way that the doctors are phrasing it isn't exactly as juicy as, let's say it might be packaged if it were going to be, a BuzzFeed article, and naturally I'm not trying to deliver BuzzFeed articles to you guys. I'm trying to deliver more anecdotal, personal accounts of things that are interesting, little morsels or windows into other people's lives. But holy bing bong monkey Chris, this list tonight is just so drowning in technical, even I have to take a break to go, come on now. And I apologize for that, okay? Creepy Boner says, I keep getting kicked out. Why did you get kicked out? What are you doing, girl? What are you doing to get kicked out, girl? You gotta stop all that drinking and drugs, girl. You gotta stop all the drugging and drinking. She been drinking. Legendary Fat Man asks Faith if she's okay because she hasn't sent anyone to gay baby jail. It's because everybody, for the most part, is probably just having a good time without being silly or crazy. Hannah LaFleur says, is it mango? Yeah, it's the same mango drink that I was going to give you. But then we saw that the secondary cooler that I had hadn't been touched in a couple of months, so no. Hannah almost scored herself another cooler like I drink out of, like a big baby with a sippy cup. Oh boy. Creepy says she got kicked out of Not My House. And Rebecca says, hi Kyle and everybody else. Faith just says she doesn't feel like it. Interesting. Wait, Creepy Boner was kicked out of the stream? What did she do to do that? Oh no, she probably just has a connection issue. And I'm assuming that, my God, we don't have time for this. Guys, I love you to death. Let's really try to give it to this list, because it's kicking my ass. Because I don't mean it in like it's not interesting way. I mean like the way that people are phrasing their shit. It's just holy crap. Like, I like to think of it like this. You ever know somebody that just can't tell a story or can't speak properly, or just the way that they talk is just like, oh no, just don't even worry about it. Or maybe your parents, you know what I mean? Imagine just like a really gangster anecdote or something cool that happened. But if your parents had to retell you the story, how they would just butcher it, and it would be something that you would rather just not even hear at all, than try to bear with them as they get through it. You know, these are anecdotal stories, but they're just not delivered the way that I want them to. So forgive me. Just get over it, Kyle. Why do you care so much? Number 11. About 20 years ago, I had a patient come in with an obstruction of his colon by a large colon cancer. The cancer had spread to his liver, and the CAT scan showed the liver basically replaced by a metastatic tumor. That says metastatic guy. Anyway, so he wouldn't die on intestinal obstruction. I won't go into detail, but trust me, it is very unpleasant as far as ways to die. The patient, his family, and I decided to try placing an expandable metal stent through the tumor. It worked. His obstruction was relieved, and he was able to go home and spend his last days with his family. Oh my God. $18 months later, the patient comes in for an office visit for heartburn. He was even more jaundiced than when I first met him, but he felt basically well and was eating well. The stent was still functional. I never saw him again and assumed he finally succumbed to the disease, but he got at least 18 months of precious and really good time. Wow. It's the Knife Wife saying, hi, Kyle. I've never seen you before, Knife Wife. But I mean, it is a really cool username. But you're probably just another male to female transgender trying to get everybody under the impression you're actually a lady. I'm kidding. There's nothing wrong with that. God, you guys, you know I love you in all your shapes and sizes. But if your shape is big like mine, then you need a special chair for your behind. I'm kidding. Not even. So Predator came out in 1987, motherfucker. Woo! That is a long time ago. Boy, I just opened up a whole bunch of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff in these lists. So, here we go. Number 10. Had a patient come in confused and delirious because his kidneys were shutting down. He had multiple myeloma and history of colon cancer, plus a bunch of other things. He was jaundiced and needed to be shocked several times. The physicians, residents, and even the family thought he was going to die. The man insisted on full measures to keep him alive. He recovered in the span of 5 days. His kidneys improved, his delirium evaporated, and the man fucking walked out of the ICU. Then there was the guy who had to be castrated, but that's another story. Okay. Guys, what is on your mind? What do you want? I want you guys to hit me with, I know people want scary stories, but hilariously, nobody's sending me anything. And like, I don't know where to source that kind of stuff. I really don't. Because I can read one or two lame ass no sleep or creepypasta stories, but odds are you're not going to be satisfied with them. And I'd love to find some manner of collection, you know? But I've done all of the Reddit lists or Ask Reddit threads where they're asking for creepy stories. I'm not sure where to source some content barrels. So unless you want me writing stories, and you guys know how that goes. And if you don't know how that goes, I think I wrote something a long time ago. Is that it? All right, here it is. Here's a creepypasta I wrote a long time ago. And it's pretty whack. So give me a second. You hear thumps. Oh God, never mind. My voice sounds really weird. Don't even worry about that. That's like forever ago. Don't worry about it. It's weird. My voice is weird. Anyway, Michael Davis says, Kyle, I want you to play Dark Souls over a confession podcast. Dark Souls, man. You don't even know what you're asking for. It's just silly. The Simple Vision says, Kyle, did you read the search and rescue stories from a while back? Yes, I did. I read them all. How do you not know that? Are you subscribed to this or not? What do you mean? Kitty says, have some scary stories from my childhood, but I don't know if you'd want them, Kyle. Ugh. Faith says, I have bunnies in Stardew Valley now. They're cute. Oh, how adorable. Knife Wife says, thanks, LOL. I'm fully female, though. So you say, prove it today. Guys, we are pretty much finishing out this list. We're putting a bow on this puppy. So as we reach number 9 in the list of 30 How Are You Even Alive stories, 9 reads, simply meeting someone who was 110 years old. You know what I'm talking about? Wait a bing bong minute. This is the wrong... It knew exactly what the hell I wanted it to do. Simply meeting a person who was 110 years old. Number 8. I used to work as a clerk in diagnostic imaging at a hospital. And we had a man come in for an x-ray complaining about chest pain. His record showed his last visit was 2 years prior when he got drunk and fell into a fish tank, breaking it. ER stitched him up and sent him home. Fast forward 2 years later, and we are all gathered around the computer screen looking at an x-ray that showed a 12-inch long piece of fish tank glass sitting in his chest, with his aorta resting right on top of it. It was on the angle running from the right hip. There were other shards of glass too, but this was one of the biggest. Emergency surgery right away. Man, some hospitals are scary as hell. Imagine falling into some glass and they bring you and stitch you up with the glass in you. What? Hannah says my feet are cold. I'm sorry, Hannah. Hannah, no, I got the dankest blankets. I got the best blankets in here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm sorry, Hannah. My stomach's starting to feel weird. Oh boy, I should finish this list. I feel strange. I feel like I didn't deliver what I set out to tonight. I feel almost apologetic. Number 7. Guy in with a bit of chest pain tells me the big coronary artery on the front of his heart 100% blocked. I tell him, who told you that? He said his doctor did about 10 years ago. I don't believe him since patients never get any of the stuff their doctor tells them right. I let the cardiac surgeon know that this guy said he too goes haha 100%, so he's dead. If the biggest coronary artery is totally occluded, and for 10 years no less, you are a dead man. Lo and behold, we get an angiogram, and it was fucking 100% occluded. The artery on the back of the heart made a connection with the front of the heart to pick up the slack. It was some lucky shit. What are you talking about? The heart can just do stuff like that, man? The human body is a mystery to me. Number 6, guy had an argument with his girlfriend, wanted to leave the apartment. Instead of taking the door, was real angry and jumped off the balcony, fell down 40 feet directly on his heels on the cement. What? He ended up having an ankle sprain. I wonder how he managed with previous issues in his life. You know what I'm talking about? This is more of what we expected in this list. This one right here. We expected more entries like this in this list. Somebody said, ha, yeah, exactly. Drop my toothbrush, jump in front of a bus, motherfucker. Tripped on a loose stone, punch my mom in the face. You know what I'm talking about? Jeez. How did these people survive? How did these people survive? Well, let's go to number 5. We arrive at number 5. Hemoglobin. 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 You're an adult, Kyle. Hemoglobin of 35, 3.5. In a 35-year-old guy with a chronic rectal bleed he refused to have looked into for months because he didn't want anyone looking at his bumhole. Well, finally brought him to the emergency room by ambulance when he fainted, aka started dying in a grocery store. Because he didn't want anyone looking at his bumhole. Number 4. I had a guy with a Bowie knife sticking out of his chest. The chest was pulsating. I could literally count his pulse from across the room. Oh my God. That's not a knife. It's a long-range heartbeat monitor. Number 3, blood alcohol of 0.730. Somebody else said too much blood in their alcohol system. Oh, you idiot. You idiot. Number 2, my dad's a doctor, so I asked him. When he was an intern in the emergency room, someone walked in the front door with a kitchen knife sticking out between his eyes to the handle. The knife went through his sinus cavity and ended up with the tip in his throat, millimeters from his brainstem. He goes into surgery and walks out of the ICU the next day. My dad says he was the luckiest man he ever saw. You and I got different definitions of luck, motherfucker. Nobody trying to get stabbed in the fucking... Somebody said he still got stabbed in the face, though. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said classic pessimist versus optimist argument. Yeah, you got to look at the glass half full in this case. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. Gotta look at the glass half full. Well, at least he lives in a way where he can get stabbed in the face. Did you ever think about that? Fucking, as we travel up this list of 30 how are you even alive stories, we arrive at number 1. I'd like to take this moment to thank my sexy and incredible patron. And by one of them, I mean there's a shitload. There's like a bunch of patrons. How are there 40 of you that are patrons to me? You know, I love you all to death, and I can't believe you every day. And then coming tomorrow, which will be the first of the month, we're gonna have new patrons, and I'm gonna have to update my up late. God damn, I am up late for you right now. It's damn near 11 o'clock at night, and I'm usually up later, but I do this because I want to do it daily, man. But guys, I'm gonna be trying my best soon to get even more people invested in this channel. How am I gonna do it? Boy, we'll see. It's pretty much going to be through word of mouth, through... some of you need to start going to Reddit and doing stuff like making an AskReddit thread that's like, now, what's a strange Redditor that does an interesting thing that you know about? And then somebody will be all like, oh, well, I know Kyle, and he likes to read Reddit, you know, Reddit, AskReddit threads. Yeah, can't believe that. Can you believe that? And then find one of my lists that seems vaguely professional and not up my ass or idiotic. Yeah. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack, so good luck. Oh my God. But yeah, coming soon. You guys know what to expect. Oh my God. We reached number 1, guys. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. Wow. Wait, what? No, not that one. You're supposed to bring that one down. So number 1 is, a patient stabbed himself in the neck with a thermometer that pierced his trachea, missed all the important arteries, and just hit some minor nerves. The good guy patient provided his own temperature reads until they removed the thermometer. Somebody said, but why? Some questions we'll never have the answer to. So guys, just to let you into my world, Destiny 2 is no longer pre-ordered. In your face. But you know I intend to get it on PSN, so no big deal. I do look forward to playing with whomever of you may be interested in it. So if I remember correctly, let me try and find a clan thing for Destiny. No, man. Not the Time Lords. Is it over? What the hell? Nigga, we gonna have to see. Because I don't know what's going on. But we'll figure it out when the time comes. And I'll, pass out what needs to be passed out. Alexandria U says, hi, Kyle. How are you? Is everybody okay? Is everybody all right? We can just talk a little bit while I try to figure out what's going on with this damn clan. Because I remember... Don't I have a clan? What is happening? Do I not have one? I want it to be open. Do I have to create it again? This is nuts. What should the clan motto be, guys? Seriously. Shangri-La. Kaela, I don't know, man. What's something that people want to rally behind for real? What's a clan motto? Oh well, let's scroll up, see what everybody's talking about. Michael Davis says, Kyle, your title says 3, by the way. Oh god, does it? Oh, some things just don't get changed. I don't know what to say. Oh, that's why somebody came in saying that what a short list earlier. Now I finally get it. Big Worm says new clan. Do you know something that I don't? Does this mean that I have to make a new clan? Everybody has to have new clans, new master plans. I want to make it Bing Bong, but that video. There's this popular video. Get Swifty. A clam motto. Welcome to the splash zone. Oh my god. Alright, looks like I'm creating a clan. What? It's for PSN. I don't know. This sounds crazy. So how do I share the clan now? How do I do that? I have an idea. I'm literally just going to post this into the chat right now, and we'll see if anybody can go to it and get involved with it. I guess that's what happens. Not your mom's clan. I like that one better. Not your grandma's clan. This ain't your grandma's clan. Oh my god. I wish I could get Faith in there. Faith. Get in there. Hannah would probably have to make a Bungie.net account because she's never... Oh, everybody probably have to make a Bungie.net account if they don't have one already. So there's that. Oh, well. I'm not going to get anybody splashing in. You know what I'm talking about? Not for now. Oh boy. Legendary Fat Man says, Kyle, add me on PSN if you want. You add me. My name's Kyle. Just leave a little message that says, this is Fat Man, so I know who you are. There's too many people with too many different aliases. Do you get what I'm saying? So knowing who's who gets a little interesting at times. Guys, I love you to death. I'm thinking about jumping on PS4 and probably playing a little bit. But if you guys want to go to bed, I won't hold anything against you. Unless that's what you're into. I hope that you had as good a time as you could tonight. You know, even I agree. This was a questionable list, considering what was going on. So I'll go ahead and kind of start, I want to say lightly skimming through and reading the lists in the future to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Somebody asked what slapping on some toast is about. This is what it's about. Oh, let's let that play again.
On some toast.
A little bit louder.
Slap it on some toast.
Yeah, so technically 3 times there. Wow. You know what I mean? Just Kyle in, You know, I think I was writing a song and see if you guys can hear it really quickly. Because you remember, well, you guys wouldn't remember, but recently I was having some issues with an old hard drive. And Emily helped me out by... Jesus Christ. Do I have any Audacity files here? So what is any of this? Yeah, no. What a nightmare. Finding anything as usual has become a nightmare. Is this it? I don't think this is it. What is this? This could be it, dude. This could be it. I'm playing this for anybody who may be interested, but this may be something that I started but lost the majority of. Give me 1 second. Ooh, it's playing through the wrong speaker. Let's deal with that. How about this? With 18,000 subscribers, my resolution is to be less offensive. Just 50 years ago, black people picking the cotton they slaves. Just 50 years ago, women was in the kitchen, knew they place. If you wanna live as the opposite sex, then bitch nigga, you gay. Deep in the closet, you keeping the secret, we know you got AIDS. I'ma steal your bitch, even if you ain't got one. Bitch, you better think quick, because I got a gun. You are black and I'm a cop, you bout to feel this pain. With my lighter fluid, watch we remove the stains. Lick it, flip it, stick it, make sure she is 18. Oh shit, there go Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. 18,000 subscribers, it's time to celebrate. You say you're a girl, well this the one time I wanna see you menstruate. Chinese people, what that air tastes like. Born a girl, better rock next time. Sucky sucky $5, love me long. Chicka chang chong, hit 'em with that bing bong. That's enough. That's enough. This is so stupid. Way more of this got left in than I thought it did. It's so ignorant too. Woo, it's ignorant. It's ignorant. Oh no! If you are a midget, then you know you are a munchkin in the land of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. Or maybe you're an Oz and Ewok and you're fighting in the War of the Stars.
Star Wars.
Oompa Loompa doopity doo, I got the perfect puzzle for you.
Willy Wonka.
How long is your lifespan? And in heaven do midgets come through? And in heaven do midgets come through? Here's the thing about half of the things that I laid down in our track. A minute after I rap it, I've outgrown it. Do you understand? And I'm almost ashamed that some of those things came out. Ooh, boy, that's bad. If you are a midget, then you know you are a munchkin in the land of Oz. Or maybe you're an Ewok on Endor and you're fighting in a War of the Stars. What was the other line?
Oompa Loompa doopity doo, I got the perfect puzzle for you. Willy Wonka. How long is your lifespan?
Oompa Loompa doopity doo, I got the perfect puzzle for you. How long is your lifespan? And in heaven do midgets come through? Now, if there are any midgets that watch my channel, it is just a joke. But wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. The whole fucking rap was a diss track to everybody. The first verse was about black people, and then it went into Chinese people, what that air tastes like. Born a girl, better luck next time. Then I made fun of the transgenders. Okay, everybody gets dissed in the track. What I'm definitely going to have to do if I release that is make, lyrics on the screen so everybody knows what the hell's going on. Ooh, that was awful. That was awful. Psh. Simple Vision said, this is Kyle's WWE entrance song. Oh no. Oh no. I appreciate that fire, Detroit. Oh no. What nonsense. I love it because I bet wherever Hannah is, she's just shaking her head right now. Guys, I'll finish that, but I'll tell you what, there were some good ones, man. There was one that I remember starting one to, God, what's the name of that song? You know that one song that's like, I'm coming, I want the world to know. Oh my God, dude, that was the dankest shit, and I fucking lost it, and I'm furious about it. You understand me? I'm furious about it. Ooh, that shit was fucking fire, son. And if I can retrieve it tonight, that's what I'll do. So guys, I will catch you soon. But yeah, I guess you know what to expect. So let me work on something that's more Kyle-y, because this list tonight was interestingly not Kyle. Wow. But guys, seriously, figure out how to join that clan, or I don't know, just be you. That's what makes me love you all the time. And we'll go from there. Talk to you soon. Bye.